In this video, I want to give you the winning formula to actually creating and identifying winning ads that will help you get more profits, get more higher quality customers, and at the end of the day, just have better performance with your paid and organic marketing. I'm going to be showing a lot of paid ads today, but you could totally apply these to your organic marketing as well, so don't shy away from that. Let's just get right into it. And there's a couple things that I want to cover first off before I show some of the creative examples. And that's what a lot of this video is going to be about, is just me showing and sharing creatives that have consistently worked well across my own company and a lot of the other companies that I partner with. So these are tried and true. They're proven. They aren't something that just worked last week. They're something that have worked for years. So I want to share all that with you. I hope you enjoy it. So four or five things really quickly. When it comes to creating the perfect ad creative and the best ad that you possibly can, I think there's a couple of things you can do to actually prime yourself for the best ad to make before you even make it. Think about something absurd that you can kind of put in the ad copy, some kind of an absurd claim or a contrarian belief. And I'm going to run through these examples in the ads, and if I don't remember to mention them, look out for them as well as I go through these. So an absurd claim or contrarian claim, some kind of a call out where you're calling out the ideal prospect, some kind of call to action, so telling them exactly what to do and how to do it. Something as well that you can do is being very, very specific in the ad. And then finally, there's this thing, the 80-20 rule when it comes to ad creatives, and my kind of philosophy when it comes to the 80-20 rule inside of ad creatives. You'll see with a lot of these, or at least some of them, they're very simple. People don't like simple ads. I don't know what it is, but branded stuff is awesome, and you should put your brand elements in there wherever you can. But you'll find more times than not that something that is not branded, that is just simple, has some general coloring, and isn't that crazy, performs a lot better than something branded, because that branded piece of creative doesn't seem like a viral piece of content. It seems like an ad. You want your ads to be like viral pieces of content. That's why even on organic, if you just post your brand all the time, you're never going to get anywhere with it. I mean, people will think it looks nice. Will people actually buy? I don't know. So some of these you may consider ugly, or you may think that they don't look that great. But the truth is, I'm not designing these creatives with a graphic designer mindset. I've made these creatives with a conversion mindset and a media buying mindset kind of forefront and top of mind for me. I don't think they look that bad, but some people would disagree with me, but that's okay. So let's look at each of these. I'll try kind of draw a couple of things as we go through to give you guys some examples of everything we just spoke about. So a couple of things on this creative right here. You can see in the picture just how simple this is. We call this a blunt post. Learned that from one of my mentors, and we've executed and used it in plenty of our ads, and it's worked very, very well. Both in the creative and in the copy, this first line that you can see is all about being specific. There's specificity immediately. In this case, he's talking about a certain workshop that they can join on this specific date. And right here, he's calling out, and it's very specific to coaches. Two very important things that make a really solid winning ad right there. Next right here is he's kind of presenting some value and a different kind of angle or a unique mechanism in this second portion here. I think it's always important to include some kind of value in your ad. If someone gets value out of reading something and you either challenge their beliefs or they agree with you in a really strong way, you want it to be polarizing in either or direction. You want the people that are agreeing with you to absolutely agree with you, and you also want people to just completely disagree with you. That's when you know you've got a good ad, when not everyone is happy and doesn't comment or it doesn't upset them when they see it. And I'll show you more examples of that in a little minute. Then right here, more specificity, kind of lining out the different days, what happens. This is a fairly simple ad, but I think the point that I want you to see from this is, one, we're being really specific and we're telling them exactly what they're going to get. There's value. We're calling out people in the creative as well as calling people out here by saying, hey, it's a full-time coaching business, right? And then we're giving value and we're letting them know exactly what they're going to get. And of course, there's a call to action here. There's a call to action here. All of these elements combined make a really solid ad. And this is something where we spent, I don't know, probably close to a couple $100,000 on an ad like this to see 3-4 times return on ad spend. So really cool stuff. I really like these kinds of creatives. They always tend to work. Next one that I want to show you is this one. This is a really good example of a contrarian belief or some kind of absurd angle or statement in an ad. So you can see up here, the first thing we say is, I hate finishing the workday without accomplishing anything. People are going to agree with that. We've actually done some other ones where we've said things like cold plunges don't actually work. Or we've said things like throw away your to-do list, right? To-do list isn't going to help you. People are very polarized by that, right? Or with this, I hate finishing the workday without accomplishing anything. There's a story element there that throughout the rest of the copy, it kind of dives into that. So making sure that you once again either have some kind of story element or a very big contrarian, absurd ad angle or statement is just amazing. And then this creative as well, super eye-catching, very simple. It's nothing that crazy, right? If you were to take this, saying your brand was orange, just change the color to orange, change the words to your font, boom, it looks more like your brand already, right? But it doesn't always need to be a brand fest with your logo in the corner and all this different stuff, because at the end of the day, people will experience your brand from the direct interactions with you, and especially if they click to the next page. So if your creative is almost like the shop window, the experience outside when you're looking in through the shop window, you should get a taste for what's inside that shop, quote unquote. When you get in, that's when you get the entire experience. Don't even know if that made sense, but that's kind of how I like to picture it, right? If you're walking in New York City and there's a Lego store, and outside you can see inside the store that there's Legos and you can kind of sense the vibe, but you're on the street. The brand isn't coming and attacking you per se. But the second you walk in, or in this case, if you were to click and go to the lander, you'll see how the ad and the landing page tie together. But it doesn't always have to be perfect. The purpose of the creative, and it's one part of your ad, is to really slow the scroll. You can have it do other things like in this one where it is qualifying people a lot more, but this one gets people to slow the scroll because they're like, what is this saying? They read it. If they're not interested, they go. If they're interested, they click. And that's why these work so well at getting conversions, because if you stop and read this ad and click, you're clicking because you read it and you resonated with it, or you're curious, right? So that's something that works really well. This one's really solid. Here's this next one. This is another great example of this whole contrarian belief idea. No entrepreneur should work past lunch. In fact, if you're overwhelmed by, that's very contrarian. This ad has crushed it for us. Yes, it looks a little infographic-y, some people would say, but it's something simple. It looks like a viral, shareable piece of content. Once again, it looks like something valuable, like, oh, well, what are the 7 deadly morning sins? I want to know. It's not, oh, wow, there's this business shoving their thing in front of me. No, it's very value driven. It is educational. It seems like this ad has crushed it for years. So very good ad. This is a really great example of having that contrarian or absurd kind of claim front and center in the lead in of the ad copy. And that's really something else that I want to point out actually in this ad really quickly. Those are a couple of the areas that you can look at improving your ad. There's obviously the lead in, so I'll just put an L there. There's the creative itself right here. And then there's the headline. And then over here, there'll be the button. All these are small elements that you can tweak, adjust, and manipulate to however you'd like to do, or to however you can, to attract the right person and push away the wrong person. So that's how I like to think about it whenever I'm making an ad, is how can I bring in the right person but attract the wrong one? This next ad is a really good example of a unique and contrarian angle, but more importantly, it really ties in emotion. And I think if you can build some ads, some that are a lot more direct, maybe like numbers based or very specific, and some that maybe aren't as specific, but they're really tied to emotion, something like this will work really, really well. So on any of these ads, pause, read them, check them out, so you can kind of read it in full without me talking over you. And the other thing I want to point out in this is the before and after kind of effect. In a lot of paid ads, and even in organic, especially the algorithms, they don't love to favor, in paid ads specifically, they don't love before and after pictures or videos or things like that. If you think about, like, I don't know, back in the early 2000s when there would be like how to get abs from home, like before and after picture, and it's unrealistic, you'd get shut down for running those kinds of things. And even today you could on Facebook or Instagram. But this is a great way of taking that same kind of idea of before and after, and not really saying before and after, and not structuring it like a hard line down the middle before and after. But this is a great way to kind of illustrate that idea and that concept. And I'd really recommend you try it out for yourself. Think of anything you could do before and after, and just structure it in a little bit of a different way. Make it a little bit different to what a traditional before and after would look like, and you can get away with a lot. So the last one I want to go over, and I'll probably make a couple parts to this video because I'm already at 10 minutes and I want to make it short and sweet, is this one. This is very similar to this first one here where there's just text, but this one actually works really well too because it's a Notes app one. We designed it in Canva, and it's basically typing as the ad. So the ad is actually a little video, and it's typing this thing out as the ad is going. Really, really great one. This is a really good way to take kind of this initial concept that is just black text, white background, flip it on its head, and it's just a static post, and flip it on its head and make it a little bit more dynamic and living and breathing. So this has worked really well for us as well. And I want to kind of point out one last thing here, which is this lead in right here. If you want to buy a rental property that cash flows every month, ... That's something else that works really well because it's going after the end result that they want to achieve, and it's very, very specific. So that's kind of everything here with creatives on this one. These are all the elements that I would really start to pay attention to in your ads to see how you can make the best creatives possible. So I hope that makes sense. Let me know if you have any questions on this. And if you click below, you'll be able to get access to a free KPI cheat sheet. It goes through all the KPIs, both on ads and funnels, and gives you ways that you can influence them. Totally free. Just check the description if you want to grab it. If you have any questions, let me know, drop them in the comments. So the next video I make, I can kind of organize it a little bit differently to answer any of the questions or anything I left out on this one. Hope you enjoyed. Go out there and start testing some stuff, and I'll see you in the next one.